Hi, it's Vic here again from Investor Insights. I'd like to talk today about last week's inflation numbers. This is clearly a case of either government conspiracy to keep these numbers low, or government statisticians are just a bunch of useless idiots. The official numbers released was 0.6% quarter on quarter and 2.4% year on year. Now, these CPI numbers are so far off the mark, I can't believe that people would believe them. It doesn't make any sense. Anybody who goes out there and spends money clearly can see that inflation is not running at 0.6% quarter on quarter or 2.4% year on year. Take a look at petrol prices. They're nudging $1.60. They were what? $1.30 odd 3-4 months ago. Now, I'm not saying base all your CPI calculations on petrol prices, but you can use petrol prices as a gauge for what's really going on out there, because petrol prices affects everything. It doesn't matter if it's as simple as the amount of money that it costs you to fill up your tank, but also transportation costs for goods and services from the manufacturers or the importers, wherever, to the supermarkets, to the manufacturing of plastics. It trickles down. Everything is affected by oil prices, and you can't hide from that. Now, if you can look me in the eye and agree that with the government, that the CPI is correct, then you clearly don't have a clue. Because just simple maths tells you that that petrol has skyrocketed by at least 20% in the past quarter. You want to hear the biggest joke of all? I've got here the weighted average of 8 capital cities in terms of percentage changes from the previous quarter in the rise of goods and services. So you've got across 8 Australian capital cities, you've got alcohol and tobacco has gone up about 1.5%, clothing and footwear that's gone up about 2.5%, housing's gone up about 1%, health costs have risen about 2%, communication 0.5%, education 0.25%. But here's one of the biggest jokes of all. Costs of transport has actually fallen 1%. Now, you're telling me that with petrol prices having climbed easily 20%, the cost of transport has gone down 1%? These government statisticians don't know what they're doing. I'd like to see what methodology these guys use to work out these numbers. Because if a doctor used the same methodology to diagnose cancer in patients, you could have some old bloke out there with a lump the size of a second head sticking out of his neck. This guy is screaming in agony. He can't even stand upright. And the doctor walks up to him and says, "You know what? That's just a little acne or something. It's nothing. He'll just go away in no time." These guys, I don't know how they got their maths degree or statistics degree. It just doesn't add up. What these guys are telling you is that the CPI is basically static. Nothing's moved, nothing's changed. Prices aren't rising. Now this could be a conspiracy from the government to allow the RBA to cut rates. Because if the CPI was correctly calculated, it would be a lot more than 2.4% year on year. It's far, far greater than that. Anybody who spends money, goes to the supermarket, puts petrol in their tank, spends money on anything out there, will tell you the cost of goods and services have not gone up 2.4%. If they publish the real numbers, the RBA would have no choice but to hike rates to tame this inflation. The fact that these guys are telling you that it's a beautiful sunny day, whereas in fact it's pouring rain, in fact it's hailing out there, and you can see it, but they're still telling you it's sunny, means that the government's treating its people like fools. But most people don't even think about this. Most people turn on the news or read the newspaper article, it just comes up and they're just, 2.4% year on year, inflation's tame, we'll get a rate cut. It's all good. But you don't realize that cutting rates is going to spark more inflation. Because cutting rates opens up the money supply. It's more cheap money for everybody. And people are going to spend this cheap money on goods and services and whatever, and drive prices even further up. So, next time you read an article about CPI, have a think about what really is going on. Because personally, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. Alright? Happy trading. Talk to you next time.